It's time to go into business for yourself. Get ready for another episode of the Franchise Academy Podcast. Education, insight, and inspiration. Here's your host, small business and franchise expert, Tom Scarda.
Welcome to another episode of the Franchise Academy. This is the Franchise Frontrunner Podcast, and I am excited to have a great franchise frontrunner with me, someone who's been in franchising 35 years, probably longer than many of you have been alive that are listening to this podcast right now. I want to welcome in Scott Levine from Minuteman Press. Scott, are you there?
Thank you. I'm here.
Hey, great to have you, man. This is really awesome. So it's been 35 years?
It'll be 35 this coming November if I make it.
You'll make it. You're doing well. How many units do you operate?
Just the one.
Just
it's
one.
A handful.
I see. You got a lot of action going on there. And where are you located? I forgot to ask that.
We're in Queens, Bellerose, Queens, right on Union Turnpike on the corner of 248th Street.
248 in Union. All right. And what did you do before you got into franchising?
I worked for a management company. I was director of operations. The company managed recreational facilities, spas, and some co-op and condo developments.
Oh, cool. And so how did you figure out Minuteman Press for yourself?
It's a great story. Actually, Quick Printing Magazine did a story on me. I got the cover here somewhere. I could have shown it to you. But it's basically, I liked the company so much I bought it. It was a razor commercial. You remember that?
Yeah.
Years ago?
Yeah.
I was a client of the Minuteman owner previous. He was one of the first dozen or so franchises. And I was looking to make a change because my previous business required me to work weekends and evenings. And I had a young daughter and another one on the way. And I needed something a little bit different. So I jumped in.
Oh, wow. Great story. And that's a lot of times how it happens for people. It's usually a second career for the most part. When you think back about your 35 years, and this could probably be a whole kind of hour podcast by itself, but what's the greatest victory or lesson learned in your business?
One of the things that made me feel good, I would just remember on a number of occasions, it doesn't happen too often, but a customer called up and said, look, my brother-in-law just went into the printing business and I really got to give him all my business. I need my files. Back then we used plates. I need all my artwork. I need my plates, blah, 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 blah. And I packed them up, delivered them with a smile. And a lot of people said to me, man, I wouldn't have given it to him. I would have made him, suffer.
Right.
And guess what? A couple of months later, the guy called me up and he said, Scott, it's my brother-in-law, but he doesn't know what he's doing. And brought all the artwork back. And he's been a customer to this day.
Wow.
Some of the other things, I've got customers that were walk-in customers from the first week I was in business, and they're still with me today.
35 years. Wow. That's an incredible testimony right there. What do you wish that you knew back then, 35 years ago, that you know now?
Some early lessons. Work was a lot harder. Spent a lot of long hours into the night because it was just me. As me, I had 1.5 employees. Right. And I was lucky that I grew very quickly. And one of the things I wasn't prepared for was growing quickly required financing because I didn't have a lot of credit with vendors. Business was growing, and you got to wait for your money. Yeah. And my wife would ask me, "How's business?" And I'd say, "Oh man, it's great. We're jumping." I don't understand. You didn't bring home a paycheck, and you're taking more money out of the bank account. What's that about? But we caught up. So the lesson was be ready to finance your growth.
Finance your growth. That is a great nugget right there. Thank you so much for that one, Scott. That is, and I preach that all the time. Not having enough money is the number one reason for failure. I don't care what business you're in.
And we've also been through the ups and downs more than once. We hit the valley, and then we got back to the top of the mountain. And like things are going right now, it looks like we may be going back into a valley, but we'll see.
I hope
Hopefully not.
Yeah, I hope not. So who's your greatest mentor in franchising?
I really didn't have a lot of experience with franchises, and I haven't had, but I will say that the Titus family as a whole, going back to Roy, the founder, he preached, follow the program, and I have followed the program. The guys that don't are the guys that fail.
Yeah.
It's been my experience that from what I've seen, the guys that know the printing business and come into this business fail because it's different. So follow the program. So, and it, again, the Titus family.
Yeah, definitely behemoths in the franchise industry.
Yep.
For sure, absolutely. What advice would you give to someone that is thinking about buying a franchise right now as they're listening to this podcast?
Have your head examined. No.
Yes, right.
The advice is the same. Follow the program. Be prepared to work hard. Have the financing available. And again, I can only speak for Minuteman, the Minuteman franchise. It works. They've got well over 900 stores around the world, most of them successful. There's got to be something to that.
Yeah, there's no question about it. It's got the track record. It just speaks for itself. So yeah, they're doing something right. And it's funny because some people feel like, oh, printing, that's so, 1990, nobody uses a printer anymore. But there's so many things.
When I started, we had no fax machine. We had no computer.
Right.
We still have computers, but I have no fax machine. So things have changed. And we changed. When we started, we just did one color. So 2-color was amazing. Now everything's full color. Everything's digital. We've changed with the times. But we didn't change too fast. You got to kind of get in at the right time.
Right.
And we've expanded our product selection. We do signs, promotional items, ad specialties. Direct mail is very big now. A lot of people think paper's dead. It's not. Maybe we're not using as much business cards or invoice forms. But direct mail is one of our biggest growth products right now. Not just for me, from just talking to people in the industry.
Right.
Check your own mailbox. You getting a lot of junk mail?
Yeah, we're still getting junk mail.
It works.
Yep, still getting a lot of junk mail.
Yep, it works. You may throw it in the junk, but somebody's buying it.
No, I look for the things I need and things I want, and so it definitely makes sense. So how can people get in touch with you or find your store and phone number, website?
You can reach me on the internet, Minuteman Bellerose, that's BELLEROSE.com. You can reach us by phone, 718-343-5440. My email is scott@minutemanbellerose.com. Believe it or not, we don't have voicemail. There's someone here from 7 in the morning till 7 o'clock at night, and we answer the phone. Hopefully
that's
on the first ring most of the time. I like it that way.
Right. That's a great way to be. Well, Scott, I appreciate your time. Thanks for being on the Franchise Frontrunner podcast. You are a franchise frontrunner, and I look forward to talking to you again.
Thank you for having me, Tom.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
This has been another episode of the Franchise Academy podcast. For more info, go to our website, thefranchiseacademypodcast.com. Remember to subscribe to Tom Scarda's YouTube channel for educational videos on franchising, education, insight, and inspiration.